What an intro, and welcome to another project of mine. Today I have for you a little-known PS1 game called Fear Effect. And what mode do you think I'm going to play this on? We're going hard mode. Oh yeah. I'm not sure what I'm doing at this point in time, but we're going hard mode. Not because I'm a badass, although I like to think so, but because you have to play it on hard mode to get the best ending. That's what we're going with. This game also comes with hand cheats. I will be using some of them periodically throughout the game. It could turn out to be random moments in the video where they occur. It's going to be most of this video. I'll talk more about that later when we get into it and why I'm going to be doing that. But for now, let's watch this opening cinematic.
Death. The thing we fear most. But my only fear was what would happen if I remained alive. So I ran. I knew my father would try to stop me, and I knew others would come for me. Others whose only desire was money. But my longing was stronger. I wanted salvation. Of all the sensations, pain is the purest, without ambiguity. You feel it or you don't. I had never experienced pain, but now I knew that I could visit it on others. A pain so strong, so intense, that it would purify the world. I had learned the truth, so I ran. The noise of the funeral didn't mask my assassin's approach. I hoped for a quick death, hoped it would be possible. So I stopped running. I had never experienced pain, and I so wanted to feel it now. I wasn't disappointed. Hong Kong. A familiar place in another time. Mercenaries were coming from the west, told of my disappearance by a man, a betrayer who worked for my father. I had become a commodity that would be redeemed for cash.
So, you trust him?
Jin's reliable.
Yeah? How do you know?
He helped me get out of the streets years back, before he threw in with a triad. He's always got an angle, but I'd say he's a friend.
When you're talking about this kind of money, you can lose friends in a hurry. And once we find the girl, we are talking about this kind of money, right, Hana?
Wei Ming Lam is the daughter of the most powerful triad leader in Hong Kong. Don't worry, Glass. If we reach his little runaway first, Lam will pay us handsomely to get her back.
Of course, he'll want us dead as well.
There, that's it. The Lam building.
I've got 11 o'clock straight up.
Jin said he'd be on the pad.
So much for Jin being reliable.
I'll go find him.
Well, we'll find out more about Jin later. That first lady that we heard from in the opening cutscene seems like a bit of a masochist, but I guess she's our Mark, who we're after. And this lovely lady that we're playing as now is the first of 3 playable characters we'll be playing as. Her name is Hana. She's a very nice person, nothing but warmness and love for everybody. And I'm going to be cutting this for the most part in the future, but whenever you hear that ringing, that is your signal that you're at a save spot and you have to actually go into the menu and save your game. I'll get better at navigating these menus, but if you've seen my Galarians playthrough, another relatively unknown PS1 game, and another one that I used a ton of cheats during, I kind of did the same thing after a while in that one, where I started skipping to the items in the menu that I was actually going to use. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that throughout this playthrough, but I did want to show that once, just to show what that was going to look like. Come on, Hana. Start this now. This game uses a classic Resident Evil style, the only proper Resident Evil in my mind, the tank controls. Be careful here because you're going to have to be very stealthy here. So it's got tank controls, fixed cameras, and unfortunately, damn it, Damn it. Damn it. Stealth! Come on, stealth! There we go. And I'll go back and pick the ammo up that he dropped off later on. And I get stuck on something here. Come on. There we go, finally. Enemies typically drop ammo. You definitely want to pick that up. I end up running out quite often so far in the little bit I've played of this. So it uses the tank controls, the fixed camera angles. To me, that works for a game like Resident Evil. Slow moving enemies. They don't have projectiles. That's a really weird cutscene considering we're not wasting a bullet, we're using the knife. But okay. Some of the controls are a little weird. Triangle is our action button, and this game seems very finicky when it comes to how it operates. I was trying to re-record some stuff for the next video, and the controls are giving me some issues. Not sure what that was, but I'm sure it'll be very useful, and I'm having a lot of trouble navigating with these tank controls. The screen will change and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what's happening? Where am I? Be sure to do this, otherwise you will not have a good time. This game is very trial and error. Now something cool about this game, instead of just fixed cameras, like with the classic Resident Evil games where you had a fixed background and your character would walk through that, if you take that right there, you'll see why you needed to activate that thing that I activated in that other room. You also see why we need to activate this next thing we're going to activate. Instead of using that, this game has fixed looping FMVs, which allow things to move in the environment, which is a pretty interesting concept, actually. Do that and he is down. There's no way to get past that without doing that as far as I know. So we definitely want to do that. This game is very trial and error. You kind of have to try a section, figure it out, and then usually end up dying a few times before you get it. At least that's been my experience. A lot of times my experience with the combat in this game is, oh my god, where am I? Where am I facing? And before I can figure anything else out, I'm dead. Be sure to pick up that key. And that's why I will be using some cheats. I have very little depth perception. I'm not using the cheat yet. The health cheat, that is. We'll get to it here in a little bit. But we're not there yet. As you can see, when I was trying to stealth those two guys, I have no depth perception, so that's a problem for me. I am very visually impaired. Damn. Go. And mind you, we have not had a save between what we've got done so far and now. So I'm pretty stressed at this point. This kind of reminds me of The Evil Within in that I feel like I do a lot without a save. Come on. This could go worse. I'm kind of glad I didn't take that opportunity to save. Actually, I would have been dead if I had. I nearly died there. So, you do have regenerating health. I don't know quite the extent to how it works, but it is a thing. But anytime you can stealth an enemy, obviously you save on ammo. And I'm looking to activate something here in a moment.
Talk, Jin! Who are you waiting for?
Please.
Who are you planning to give this to, huh, Jin?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wrong answer!
You said this deal was clean, Jin.
Yeah, Jin, what's the matter with you? Come on now. So the first thing I want to do now is save my game. And from now on, you'll pretty much be seeing me cut that saving, but whenever you hear that phone sound, just know that that's when I'm going to be saving my game. That's your cue to save your game. And kind of have to be quick doing this. I kind of got fucked over a little bit here, and then she gets stuck on the wall there. It's not a real wall, but for the game purposes it is. Die! See why I'm going to be using the health cheat. This is something that would be very frustrating without it. And that last door we went through, I had to use, I believe it was a red ID card. I forget. Might have been a blue one. Now the health cheat is on because this next section I could not have done. Well, it's still coming up. So it's a pretty interesting game, though. It seems like something that might be a little different compared to what I usually do, even though it has some classic Resident Evil stylings to it. I knew I could get the jump on that guy pretty easily, but at this point I don't quite understand how the targeting works, and even now I still don't quite get it, but I have a better handle on it than I did whenever I was playing this, so I just edited the crap out of this and showed you what I could. There's no way I could have done that section without dying. Just no way. I cannot see the enemies half the time. I can't see my character. Whenever it's in this top-down view, I can't tell where my character is pointing. So that does make things a little bit of a pain in the dick trying to figure out. Fortunately, unfortunately I'm stuck on another wall, we do get a save point after that section, which is uncharacteristically generous of the game. And before I hit that up, there was something I wanted to go get over here. I was pretty much going to be using that health cheat the rest of this video. I'm going to try to go without it whenever I can. We'll see how it goes. Before we move on, we can actually come back this way. I believe no enemies spawn yet. Once we come back this way later, there are going to be some spawned enemies. I'm trying to make sure I'm going the right way. There's a pickup we can get, and I'd rather go get it now than wait. So how y'all been? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's surviving the coronavirus, or whatever the hell it's called. I'm going to call it the C virus. That's the virus from Resident Evil 6. Admittedly not a great game, but, you know, I take my jokes where I can get them. Again, see why I'm going to be using the health cheat. I'll try not to, but it's going to happen. This will probably be Galarians all over again. So we use that key, and we get a second gun. So we can now dual wield. And from what I hear, apparently that's the way to go. You do fire off double the ammo, but you also do double the damage. So for me, that probably is going to mean wasting double the ammo, because I see myself missing a lot. But we'll figure it out as we go. I do kind of like the soundtrack to this game so far. It reminds me a little bit of the original Metal Gear Solid. They remade that game. Speaking of which, supposedly there's a remake in production for this game, which would be interesting. They did the same game and made better graphics and maybe improved a few other things. Might not be a bad thing. But the remake of Metal Gear Solid, holy crap, was the soundtrack ass. Right, this part. So you can get a target lock, and if you're dual wielding, take them down. My understanding is she auto aims as long as you're did not mean to fire off that extra round. There's an infinite ammo cheat, so if I need that, I will use that as well. And now I'm going through the awkward process of trying to realize what the ammo pickups look like. and where they are so that I can go ahead and actually pick them up. So that's fun for me. With a Metal Gear Solid remake called Twin Snakes. Better graphics, but worse voice acting and significantly worse soundtrack. Holy Christ, was that soundtrack bad. Okay, to be fair, it wasn't awful, but the originals was so good. Ha! Fry, you fucker! So that's going to create another problem for us later on. But the original Metal Gear Solid soundtrack was so good that it made the remakes look like ass. Die, motherfucker! Hopefully we didn't waste too much ammo doing that. I don't know quite how much we pick up whenever we get one of these pickups. I do like that enemies drop ammo. That may seem odd to say considering where we are now in games where pretty much every enemy drops something, and I get irritated playing a game where enemies don't drop anything. Got spoiled with Resident Evil 4 Onward. Although on this console, the Siphon Filter games, the enemies in those games also dropped items. So we do want to be careful here. I'm a master of stealth. Come on now. Master of stealth. Nothing but success with our stealth. Right? Alright. It's not the case. And I'm going to watch this for a little bit. This is more of that looping FMV I talked about earlier, which allows them to actually do something like this in the game where they couldn't really do that as much in Resident Evil. At least not that I remember. I remember a lot of static backgrounds. Although there were things that moved, like the poison gas in the original game. But we do not want to get fried by this. We already saw what would happen. I did not die to this, thankfully. I almost died there, though. And be ready because there's going to be some more enemies around the corner here. And I really don't want to die. Oh, do I avoid them? Oh, I avoid them. Alright, maybe it's later. Whatever. For now, we're going down the lift. Yeah, very disappointed in the Metal Gear Solid Remake soundtrack. I believe that's something we're going to need. The inventory in this game is kind of awkward, and I don't believe there are any healing items. You'll see that sign there with a bunch of colors. That's going to be a clue to a puzzle we have to solve later, and I'm probably not going to have time to explain that puzzle. I will freely admit this is me taking advantage of the health sheet I have on now. Anybody who doesn't like that type of playthrough, sorry. I didn't care when I was recording this. I probably could have stealthed this guy. I didn't even think about it at the time. I am not a good shot in this game. I don't feel like stealth and this type of aiming system really works with this style game. Definitely save your game here because there are no checkpoints. And this is the one with the blue card key. Yeah, it took me a while to get the game to actually let me save. You'll have to cycle through your inventory and use the cell phone to save. I don't think I mentioned that before. Now we need the blue card key.
Tick, tock, or you'll start to tick, Jin. Now, who are you waiting for?
He's waiting for me.
Get her! Wait, Hana! Don't leave me! Don't let this kill me!
Well, somebody's a little bitch. Actually, a couple of them are. Actually, several. A bunch of people were taking down, a guy running away, and this guy tied up. Although, to be fair, if I were tied up with a bomb strapped to me, I would be crying a little bit too. Damn this infernal aiming system! At this point, I couldn't even tell where I was aiming.
This was supposed to be a standard grab and hold, Jin. What the hell happened?
Yeah, Lamb must have had me watched. He knows I'm tight for cred. You can turn this off, huh?
The C4 is hardwired. I pull the blasting caps, you and I are misting the walls.
Then don't do that. You alone?
Glass is with me. Deke's at the hotel. This is a lot of trouble for one little runaway, Jin.
It's the first time Wei Ming's ever been outside the Lamb's compound. She's all alone in the big bad world, ripe for the taking.
There are 3 leads between each delay, probably neutral, ground, and hot. So, outside the triad, who knows Wei Ming's gone?
No one, Hannah, except for you, which is worth
15% of 90 million, and you're in no position to negotiate.
90 mil. That's your asking price to guarantee her safe return?
No guarantees. You know me better than that, Jin. Looks like I'll need to cut 2 of 3 wires between each delay without interrupting the circuit.
And if you cut the wrong aisles?
Wrong wires, a wrong order, and boom. Or I could just say screw the money and leave you here.
I'll cut my fee 12%. 10%, huh? Hannah, please. You owe me.
Not after this, I don't. Damn it.
What? What is it, Hannah?
The timer, it just started.
How much? How much is it saying?
Not a lot. Now shut up, Jin. I gotta think.
Okay.
Right, so you got 3 colors here, purple, orange, and green. You gotta cut the wires that make that color. So you gotta know your primary colors here.
This could come in handy.
About my fee, Hannah, I was under a lot of stress. Explosive makes me nervous, eh?
Give me the package, Jin.
I made a flash disk with all your info on Wei Ming, including a good place to start looking for her. I locked it in the control panel near the neon sign before that jerk laid into me.
And the key?
With the jerk.
All right, I'm going for the disc. You'd better go under and go deep.
Yeah, you know, for a moment I thought I was a dead man.
Something kind of cool. Hopefully I'll remember to mention at the start of the next video. We'll be seeing that guy again. So now, I don't know if we had a save point there. You can see again the colors there, just giving you a clue of what to do. We are going to see a funny exploit since I do have the health cheat on at this point. I think this is a cutscene. You're supposed to run away here. I had absolutely no idea that I wasn't in a cutscene there, so she just took a face full of explosion there. The things I would kind of like to avoid in my playthrough if I could. There's going to be at least one of those moments next video. Be ready, there's going to be a dude up here. And I ran out of ammo here, which is amazing. I should have tried to stealth it, guy, but nah, didn't want to do it. Thought I had more ammo than that. But whatever. Not going to worry about it now. Instead, I believe I'm going to try to stealth somebody that I really can't stealth. And these things are now back off, which is nice because I really didn't want to risk electrocution. Come on. Damn it. I think you're pretty much screwed whenever he says, huh? Well, that could have gone worse, actually. I didn't get hit as much as I thought I did there. Still not great. At least I have a little bit of ammo now. At some point we've got Uzis and we've got handguns, and we can dual wield both of them, which is nice, although I don't have much ammo for the handgun. I'll be breaking the Uzis out next video. Oh right, this section. I could not see where I was aiming, and that made it very difficult. So that's what you're getting. Anytime a combat section gets botched like that, you're just going to get an edited version like that. just easier. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well and not getting sick. Well, I hope I don't get sick. Damn, I don't want to become a zombie. Which is an odd time. I started watching a Let's Play of The Last of Us. And it's very fitting considering what we're dealing with right now. And there's a save point. I saved my game there. I was really happy to do that. And I was going to call it a video there, but I thought I might as well get this next thing out of the way so that we can start the next video with the hard part. Ah, you motherfucker. Master of Stealth, come on. Master of Stealth. You're not letting me be a Master of Stealth. You jerk. Hey, that guy was nice enough. And keep an eye on those symbols. You'll see them again next video. That is the clue to a puzzle we're going to have to solve after our first boss fight. And that's something we will deal with next time. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all then. Isn't she beautiful?